Hey, what's up, everybody? So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the New Zealand-Argentina game that took place on the weekend in the Rugby Championship. What a game! What a game! I was actually coming back from holiday, and I was watching it on a bus coming back from the south of Italy all the way up to the north. And I mean, what a game! Just the way Argentina fronted up, and I think the passion that drove them to get them over the line and to win that game against New Zealand. I mean, it was a really solid performance from Argentina. And considering the fact that majority of their players aren't even playing in Argentina, they're not in Super Rugby anymore. They've got Super Rugby America, which is a cool competition, but it's not like the URC or Super Rugby or Champions Cup. And majority of their players are playing in Europe. Like Chocobar is playing in the French league. Gonzalo Garcia, the guy that played 9 and had a really good performance, he plays in Zebre. So a lot of their boys are playing in Italy, France, and the likes. But I love the strategy that Contepomi set out for them, and you could see what they were trying to do. It was very much the kind of strategy South Africa used in the World Cup, the last World Cup, where Gonzalo Garcia was just going to kick off 9, and he was going to kick in the right places all the time. And the reason why I say it was in the right place is because Will Jordan had to work every second of that game and had to make sure he was positioned right all the time. And you're going to make mistakes as a player. And that's exactly what ended up happening. And those mistakes were forced. They were forced upon by the great kicking and box kicking from Gonzalo Garcia during the game. And I mean, even those box kicks, if you look at where they were, I mean, it was perfect. Like it wasn't deep box kicks where Jordan could sit comfortably and not even contest for the ball. It made him work. Like it was just enough behind the defensive line and just enough to make him work for the ball. So it was basically sitting in a gray zone behind the defensive line and just in front of Will Jordan. And he really had to work for it. And the way he contested the ball was I mean, look, I've seen better days from Will Jordan, in all honesty. And look, he's a great player. We saw him in Super Rugby this year, but he was really tested against Argentina. And I mean, I think it was just, there was one thing going up into this game, and I saw even with a lot of New Zealand rugby pundits were speaking about it as well, where the big question up until this was the back three. Not because of the quality of the back three, because the quality's there. I mean, if you look at Rico Iwani, Severis, and Will Jordan, but the combination between the three. And I didn't really expect the combination to be that bad between the three of them. I think maybe it's just a once-off game. I think they're all three quality players and they play really well together. But Argentina pointed this out and they made it a big part of their tactics and how they were going to play this game. And they did a really good job. When they needed to hold the ball, they held the ball. When they needed to kick the ball away, they kicked the ball away. So it was just done perfectly well from Argentina, and it was a matter of would New Zealand crumble on their own, or would they live up to the hype of this game? And they didn't live up to the hype of this game. And I see it as well, where the discipline let them down a lot in that game. 3 yellow cards. I mean, to play a highly contested game like that, it's going to be tough. And Argentina played that game like a final. I mean, when Carreras came on, he looked like a young Nicolas Sanchez, and he just kept slotting threes from all over the park. And even just the way Argentina played. So credit to Argentina, an absolute fantastic result for them, and it makes a really interesting championship now, because last week we were sitting with the situation where Australia had beaten the Box, and everyone was like, okay, New Zealand, this is New Zealand's Rugby Championship. It's either South Africa or New Zealand, and New Zealand are taking it. But now we're sitting in a situation where it's everyone's game, because Argentina, when they beat the British and Irish Lions a few weeks back before the Lions series, everyone was living up to this hype. When they got thumped against New Zealand last week, wouldn't say thumped, but they lost, and everyone was kind of sitting on the back foot of Argentina, and they were kind of thinking to themselves, is Argentina really going to have a good rugby championship this year? We don't know. Aussies, I mean, coming off the British and Irish Lions series, I personally expected them to be in a good position. I would say that they're more mentally fit and physically fit. Nick White returning to the team, Will Skelton coming back, James O'Connor coming back. I love the wingers, Dylan Peach and Jorgensen. So they've got a really good team, the Wallabies, and Joe Schmidt's got something good going there. He really does. So it makes for an interesting rugby championship, but to say who's the strongest team right now, I don't know. I really don't know. Did South Africa just make a small slip against all the Aussies? Possibly. But the Aussies have played really well in their second test as well. So it makes for a very interesting championship. But in terms of the results on the weekend between Argentina and New Zealand, credit to Argentina. If I had to pick my standout player from the game, definitely Gonzalo Garcia. His strategy worked perfectly, and he hit up that whole strategy with his box kicks. So he had a really good game. I liked the backline of Argentina. They played really well. Chocobares hit the ball up hard. Hopefully he doesn't miss the next game. He did go off with an injury, I think. Or did he stay on? One of the two. But he's a good player, and I mean, it will be cool to see how Argentina get on against the Wallabies. I personally expect the Wallabies to win one, lose one against Argentina, and I kind of see the same thing happening with South Africa and New Zealand. And if that's the case, well, it makes for a really interesting final round, or final few rounds of the Rugby Championship. But look, let's not get ahead of myself. That's to wrap it up. Argentina were really good. They wanted it more than New Zealand, and look, New Zealand will bounce back. They will bounce back. It's funny now that it's against South Africa that they're going to have to bounce back, and both teams want to bounce back. Both teams want to lay a mark. So, I mean, Rusty versus Robertson, it's going to be an interesting one. I expect a little bit of banter from the two, but looking forward to it 110%. Awesome, guys. If you liked the video, please give me a like and subscribe. I'll be coming out with more videos analysing the games coming up, the Rugby Championship as well as the Currie Cup, and a few other competitions as well that we've got going on at the moment. So looking forward to it. Stay tuned, and God bless all of you.